Hello folks, hi everybody. Well, I feel sorry for Joan Rivers that passed away. But anyway, she's a great comedian, and I could remember her, most likely remember for her movies that she did about a parody from Star Wars called Spaceballs. A parody to she did a parody of the 3CPO, the gold robot. Well, that's what it is. It is. I feel sorry for the Foley family. Foley, man. I'm just saying that. And that I know whoever behead this or whoever does this, I'm not gonna say anything what this ISIS is, but I'm going to say this, and I'm still sorry for Stephen Joel Sotloff. Those two guys are just news reporters. Well, and I think the best solution is that we never get involved in the Middle East. Let me tell you why. Because you have these kinds of people, or I might call them misfits, let their own kind deal with these suckers, right? I hope that these Arab Christians, whatever denomination they are, want to send these people to change these people's hearts. And what is this? And what is this with the beheadings and stuff? Well, this is also for the rapper. I know this rapper, Abdel Majed Bary. So what do you think of this? And for David Hines, Kefworth Hines, I'm not gonna judge anybody for what they have done. I'm not judging anybody, but you can just let me tell you what it is. As Britain has colonized so many countries over the years and so on, and starting like the war in France since Edward the Eighth, right? And everything. The problem is with these places colonized, like in Africa, Asia, even China. Well, they returned Hong Kong to the Chinese. Well, it shows that for David Hines, I think maybe controlling the Middle East, Britain involving in the Middle East is like saying the British government tell them to do what they do in the Middle East. Have they done like whatever they did to Argentina? Thank goodness Argentina is not a Muslim country, and they don't have these crazy guerrilla groups, like I'm saying ISIS, whatever. But far off in the Middle East, having the British involvement in the Middle East is like the British government telling their citizens to play Russian roulette. It's plain and simple. You guys have to stop this kind of things. Even though we both of our countries make mistakes, strong allies with us gotta stop this. This is just playing Russian roulette. If anybody wanna feel what the British government want to involve in the Middle East, getting their stuff in the Middle East, go ahead, do it how they feel. All you do is, I don't have a gun, but I'm not gonna tell you to do it. It's plain and simple what the British government does. If you want to do it, that's your choice, your free will to do it. You know, you just going to feel sorry for your friends and family for doing this kind of crap. All you have to do, what the British government is doing to their citizens, everybody, is just simply is to grab a gun. You know, the gun is the Middle East. You know, and put a bullet in one barrel in the revolver, and then out of the 6 rounds, pull the trigger in the head. Pull the trigger, and then after you're dead, you know the results, what the British government has done to their people. And this is what happened with David Hines. The thing is this is what we have done so many things. Well, that is what I'm saying, people. Not to get involved in the Middle East. If not, we're playing, you know, the same thing. Is what if I was a president of the United States and saying, let's not get involved, let the Saudis do it. Let these people do, because that's not our main problem. That's not our cup of tea. No. This is not the game that we're supposed to play. It's like saying, everybody, I'm the president. Okay, I'll tell all Americans to play Russian roulette. That's kind of stupid, because that's what we're doing, the same thing. You know, James Foley has done it. If I tell them, you know what, go play Russian roulette. He did. He said he did it, and he blew his brains to smithereens. So the only difference that he went off with his head. Zolov if I tell him, hey Zolov, go play Russian roulette. I told him to play Russian roulette, and then the same thing. He blew up his brains. That's what it is. And that's what it is if we get involvement. But that has to stop in that way. But because I think this involvement of you know, technically playing Russian, tell them to play Russian roulette, isn't like, you know, that's what it is. Sort of one thing only, to say to Britain to back off, and that's what they are doing all the time. Britain has played this Russian roulette game to tell their citizens by playing Russian roulette all the time since what, that was the Middle East, you know, involving to conquer the Middle East and stuff, you know, to colonize the Middle East. There has been several times that it shows a symbolism by the time. I'm not gonna favor death to anybody, but David Hines being a British citizen and stuff, what he's doing and what shows to be that I could tell you to their government to stop what they have done, or stop doing what they have done. They're playing a dangerous game. Once he's told us, okay, ask us to go to war to another country, and I'm gonna mention the name of it, just to help take a territory for them. If you put another country under your belt, and that is where you gotta stop. Once David Hines got his head chopped off, I will have to agree that it's time. Let them do it. Let them do it. This is just a way to show you that, or everybody, British friends out there, that the time got to stop right there, because harming others is not the way to go. You know, this is what it is. What comes around goes around. Let the karma comes in. Let the karma comes in. By the time the Hines family will be so worried about that the son is dead, you know, or they're, you know, it shows that that's what happened. That's the result. That is the consequences of going to conquer and colonize another country as how they have done for years. And that's just more like a symbolism to stop to whatever was going to happen. Like, for example, let these people in North and South Korea get united without the help of the Queen, and not to involve a war with Japan. So let it go. That showed that the beheading of David Hines shows that it is time to stop right there. That is to show you that this has to go that way, as something as symbolic. And I think David Hines has to have the balls to show that what Britain has done in the past, it stops right there with his sacrificing his life to say, save the people, save from this thing, let's prevent these wars. Sacrificing a human life, him sacrificing his life, dying for his country to change, is the best solution that that he would do. You know, chopping his head off, going off with his head as a sign of a symbolism to show what it is to stop this kind of stuff. You know, history tells them all when Britain has conquered, and you know, the time of decolonizing, the time to return a territory that belongs to Argentina, a time to stop this nonsense, is by the time David Hines got his head cut off. Him being off with his head could bring a great change to the history of Great Britain. And that's what I think about, is like, that's what happened. Sorry about the Hines family, but that beheading has to be in process. Let him go off with his head. Let that symbolizing of what the man have a guts to do for his own country. And that's what it is. You die for David Hines. You die for your country, man. Just die for your country to say that what your government has to change. And that's where it starts, when you go off to God, to a better place there. I know you're a good person, but that way, with your head going off, dying by telling the truth. Just like Jesus died by telling the truth. And that's the way it has to go. Right? ISIS will be like in biblical time, like the Roman Empire. And then you'll be the savior to Great Britain. And that's what it is. Instead of being crucified, you're going off with your head. You know? And then what it is for this guy, Abdel Majed, Bary, you are a rapper in London. You have done, you could thank you for cutting off, James Foley. Foley family, James Foley might be from my religion, but I think that things have to change and have to go in that far away that I believe that he let him rest in peace. Just like Steve and Joe Sotloff. They go into a better place. Their souls are within us in a better place than this ridiculous wild world. David Hines, to show his country what it is, to do the truth of what have happened, of have to start more decolonization of areas. Going off with his head, it will be the best solution of bravery than, dying for the country, dying to tell the queen to change things. I think was better off, going off with your head. Diana died of a car accident. She was trying to change things for Britain. But David Hines would die for his country with his head chopped off. And that's the reason why I agreed to let the guy chop off with his head. Let the guy go off with his head. For some reason, in a way, I didn't mean to say that he'll be a horrific, gory death. The French has done cutting off people's heads with guillotines. And let me tell you, what's this guy, who's this, Abdel Majed Bary, the French has beheaded people. If we have gone to conquer this kind of Muslim way of extremists or whatever it is, according to the Quran, we already have been used an equipment invented by the French already in the United States called the guillotine. All you do is just put the criminal right there, let the blade come up and chop off his head, and the guy goes off with his head, right? But main thing for reason, change your mind, man. You are in fucking big trouble, man. You're like the FBI, Interpol most wanted list, man. So get out of this BS organization, because I'm not going there. I'm not going to the Middle East. Why? Because I know that these punks would get me there and do the same thing. Off with my head. What I could tell you to do, or what I could tell these people to do once you get caught, that's it, man. That's it. You be in jail and stuff, who, I don't know who it is, but where, but yeah, suffer the consequences of what you have done. For Abdel, Majed Bary, for Abdel Majed Bary, what do you want to pray for? Do you want to pray for God to have a blackout, and that to have all those blackout with anything else, that a meteor or an asteroid comes, hit the United States and kill everybody? I'm waiting for there. There's no blackout. The light's still on. God didn't answer your prayers, man. You cannot say to, oh God, oh Allah, I hope an asteroid hits the United States and kills everybody, including, it can't. What the people of the victims will happen to do is they come and get your ass, and then if you're not thinking of possibility of changing your mind, once if you're in jail and once you being arrested, I don't know where, maybe I hope to open Alcatraz, and now that'll be justice for all, justice for whatever it is. Some people, I cannot saying like I'm digging a hole in yourself, man. The rap thing is enough. Going to tell and going to do all this bad shit was going on right there. It's like I'm gonna tell to everybody, to the Zolotov family, to the Foley family, and pretty soon the Hines family. Let these people, Zolotov and Foley, James and Stephen up in the heavens to say, to wash over you. Well, it's time to say goodbye. I hope the prayers have answered, and I hope that Abdel Majed Bary changed his mind for good. Bye.